Welcome back to Today we will learn about the exciting developments unfolding in Salem as two promising new couples begin to take shape, bringing fresh romance and youthful energy to our beloved soap opera landscape. Holly Jonas embarks on her university journey. Moving day brings new beginnings and maternal wisdom. Holly Jonas finds herself standing at the threshold of independence as she prepares for her highly anticipated moving day into the Salem University dormitories. This momentous transition represents far more than simply relocating her belongings. It symbolizes Holly's evolution from a sheltered teenager into a confident young woman ready to embrace the challenges and opportunities that college life presents. The wise and nurturing Maggie Kyriakis steps into her familiar role as the family's emotional anchor, offering Holly invaluable guidance during this pivotal moment. Maggie's counsel extends beyond typical moving day logistics, delving into the deeper aspects of growing up, accepting responsibility, and navigating the complex social dynamics that await Holly on campus. Her words carry the weight of experience and genuine maternal concern, as Maggie understands the significance of this transition in Holly's personal development journey. The dorm room itself becomes a canvas for Holly's new identity, where she carefully arranges her personal belongings to create a space that reflects both her past connections to Salem and her aspirations for the future. Each item she unpacks carries emotional significance, from family photographs that will remind her of home to academic supplies that represent her commitment to educational excellence. Tate Black's emotional departure and family support. Heartfelt moments before the big move. Tate Black experiences his own emotional roller coaster as he prepares to leave the familiar comforts of home for the uncertainties of dormitory life. The young man finds himself surrounded by the unwavering support of his family, particularly Brady Black and the beloved Marlena Evans, who recognize the magnitude of the step in his personal growth journey. Brady, understanding the challenges his son will face, offers practical advice mixed with paternal encouragement, sharing wisdom gained from his own tumultuous experiences navigating young adulthood in Salem. Marlena, with her characteristic warmth and psychological insight, provides Tate with emotional tools to handle homesickness, academic pressure, and the social complexities he'll encounter at Salem University. The farewell scene becomes deeply moving as 3 generations of the Black family come together, creating a protective circle of love around Tate before he ventures into this new chapter. Their conversations touch on everything from study habits and time management to maintaining family connections despite physical distance. Romance ignites in the university setting. Private moments and growing intimacy. Once both Holly and Tate successfully navigate their respective moving experiences, fate brings them together in Holly's carefully arranged dorm room, where the atmosphere becomes charged with romantic possibility. The newfound privacy that dormitory living provides creates an intimate setting where their relationship can develop away from the watchful eyes and constant interruptions that characterized their previous encounters in Salem. The chemistry between these two young adults reaches new heights as they explore their deepening connection in this private sanctuary. Their romantic encounter represents a significant milestone in their relationship, marking the transition from tentative teenage romance to a more mature and passionate connection. The dorm room setting provides them with the freedom to express their feelings authentically, without the pressure and scrutiny they previously faced from family members and Salem residents. Their steamy interaction showcases the natural progression of their relationship, highlighting how their bond has strengthened through shared experiences and mutual understanding. The university environment offers them opportunities to create new memories together while building a foundation for their future as a couple. Ari Horton faces unexpected challenges, laboratory partnerships, and hidden possibilities. Meanwhile, Ariana Ari Horton discovers that university life brings its own set of complications when she finds herself reluctantly paired with Aaron Green in what appears to be a mandatory laboratory assignment. This unexpected partnership initially creates significant frustration for Ari, who had different expectations for her academic collaborations and social interactions during her Salem University experience. Aaron Green, having recently returned to Salem after an extended absence, brings his own complex history and emotional baggage to this partnership. His previous romantic entanglements, particularly his complicated feelings for Sophia Choi and the unresolved questions surrounding her pregnancy, create an interesting dynamic as he attempts to focus on academic pursuits while processing his personal challenges. The forced proximity of their laboratory work creates opportunities for meaningful conversation and gradual understanding between these two initially incompatible personalities. Ari's initial annoyance with Aaron's presence slowly begins to transform as she discovers layers to his character that weren't immediately apparent during their first interactions. The evolution of two potential romance stories. From irritation to attraction, a classic transformation. The contrasting trajectories of these two emerging couples provide fascinating insight into different paths that romantic relationships can take in the Salem University environment. Holly and Tate's relationship represents the natural progression of an established connection reaching new levels of intimacy and commitment, while Ari and Aaron's potential romance follows the classic enemies to lovers narrative arc that soap opera audiences find irresistibly compelling. Aaron's vulnerability regarding his past relationship with Sophia creates opportunities for Ari to see beyond her initial negative impressions and recognize his genuine emotional depth. As their laboratory sessions continue, their conversations gradually shift from purely academic topics to more personal revelations, allowing both characters to discover unexpected compatibility beneath their surface differences. The university setting provides the perfect backdrop for both relationships to flourish, offering privacy, shared experiences, and the natural intimacy that comes from navigating new challenges together. These young couples represent the future of Salem's romantic landscape, bringing fresh energy and contemporary relationship dynamics to the show's ongoing narrative tapestry. Both storylines promise to deliver the emotional complexity and romantic tension that Days of Our Lives viewers have come to expect, while introducing new generational perspectives on love, commitment, and personal growth within the familiar Salem community framework. Part 2. Next, we are diving into one of the most dramatic storylines that is beginning to unfold in Salem. A moment when secrets collide with loyalty, and when a single warning may change the course of several lives. The center of this storm is Melinda Trask, a woman who has spent her entire career balancing the law, her own ambitions, and her personal connections. Yet, even the strongest people in Salem sometimes find themselves in a state of panic, and that is exactly where Melinda stands today. A familiar office, an unwelcome shock. At the lawyer's office, the air felt unusually heavy. The blinds were partly drawn, and the sunlight that crept through landed unevenly across the wooden desk, casting long shadows. It was here that Melinda Trask appeared, her face showing the stress of someone who carried too many secrets and not enough allies. Sitting across from her was Patsy, a woman who had been part of Melinda's life for years. Their friendship was not one built merely on casual acquaintance. Patsy owed her life to Melinda, something she never forgot and often reminded her of. Because of this bond, Patsy always tried to help Melinda in any way she could, even if it meant getting caught in the middle of Salem's endless drama. That day, Patsy wasted no time. She explained that she had interrupted the conversation in the office as soon as Brady Black had left. She was relieved she had acted quickly, because Brady's visit had not been a simple courtesy call. Patsy's gratitude and loyalty. Before diving into the details of Brady's questions, Patsy took a moment to remind Melinda of the reason she would always remain on her side. Long ago, in a moment of crisis, Melinda had stepped in and done something that Patsy believed saved her life. For Patsy, this was not just a kind gesture but a defining moment that forged a sense of loyalty. "I'll never forget what you did for me," Patsy confessed with genuine emotion. "That's why, whenever I can, I'll help you. But this time, Melinda, I'm afraid we may have a problem." It was not easy for Patsy to say such words. She had always wanted to reassure Melinda, to tell her that everything would be all right. But the look on her face and the urgency in her voice revealed that this problem was not a small one. It was something that could ripple far beyond the walls of the office. Brady's visit. Questions that cut too deep. Patsy explained that Brady had been unusually determined during his visit. He wanted more than just polite conversation. He wanted a copy of the adoption papers, a move that suggested he was not going to rest until he got answers. That request alone was alarming enough, But then came the question that struck an even deeper chord. Brady asked about the sex of the baby. This single question left Melinda shaken. It wasn't simply curiosity. Brady was clearly trying to put pieces of a puzzle together. And when Brady Black, a man with a strong will and a history of fighting for his family, started asking questions, it meant trouble was never far behind. Melinda's panic. As Patsy spoke, Melinda's expression shifted from concern to outright panic. For weeks, she had convinced herself that Brady and his son Tate would eventually let things go. She had thought their questions were nothing more than emotional outbursts, expressions of grief and frustration that would fade with time. But Patsy's warning shattered that illusion. Brady's not letting this go, Patsy warned firmly. He's digging, and if he keeps at it, he might uncover more than either of us are prepared to face. Melinda could barely hide the fear in her eyes. She thanked Patsy for the warning, though her voice trembled. She knew all too well how dangerous the situation was becoming. Brady's persistence had the potential to unravel everything she had worked to conceal. The weight of secrets. Melinda Trask has always been a complicated character in Salem. She built her career on law and order, yet behind the scenes, she has never been a stranger to bending rules or keeping secrets if it meant protecting herself or those she cared about. The problem with secrets, however, is that they rarely stay buried. Every decision, every cover-up, every carefully chosen lie becomes another weight she must carry. And now, with Brady Black circling closer to the truth, Melinda felt as though the walls around her were beginning to close in. Patsy's worry. While Melinda tried to regain her composure, Patsy's concern remained plain. Her loyalty made her willing to defend Melinda, but even she recognized that some storms cannot be stopped. Patsy worried not only for her friend's career and reputation, but also for the personal consequences that would inevitably follow if the truth came to light. "We've come too far to have everything collapse now," Patsy whispered, almost as though speaking to herself. "But Brady, he's not like others. Once he gets it in his head to fight for something, he doesn't stop. And I don't think this is going to end quietly." The road ahead. The scene ended with Melinda staring into the distance, her mind racing through possibilities. Could she find a way to keep Brady quiet? Would Tate's involvement make matters worse? Or was this the beginning of a battle she simply could not win? For longtime fans of Days of Our Lives, moments like this capture what makes the show timeless. It is not just about shocking twists or dramatic confrontations. It is about the human struggle to hold on to what matters, even when the odds are stacked against you. Melinda's panic, Patsy's loyalty, and Brady's determination are the ingredients of a story that is destined to explode in the weeks ahead. Final thoughts. What makes this storyline so captivating is not only the suspense, but also the way it highlights relationships built on gratitude, loyalty, and fear. Patsy feels indebted to Melinda, yet she also knows when to sound the alarm. Melinda is powerful, but even she cannot escape the weight of her past choices. And Brady, ever the protector of family, has stepped into the role of relentless seeker of truth. The warning Patsy delivered may seem like just a small conversation in a quiet office, but it is the spark that could ignite an inferno in Salem. For now, Melinda is in panic mode, Brady is digging for answers, and Patsy stands caught between loyalty and dread. The question is, who will discover the truth first, and how devastating will the consequences be when they do?